is expected to greatly strengthen judicial capacity. The appointments were formally made on Tuesday morning at President's House, where the instruments were administered by President Christine Kangaloo. Chief Justice Budu Singh said the expansion was critical.
We have retiring judges. We need to expand the capacity of the court to deal with cases. So the 7 judges who've been appointed today, along with 7 between January and February. That's 40 new judges in the past 3 months. So that will make a measurable mark on the availability of resources.
Chief Justice noted that the newly appointed judges will be strategically placed across key divisions of the court system.
3 will go to the criminal division, 3 to the civil, and 1 to the children's court. The judges who were appointed in January, some went to criminal, a couple went to family court, and also to civil as well.
Chief Justice Budu Singh added that training and mentorship programs are in place to support the new judicial officers, ensuring a smooth transition into their roles. He also revealed that recruitment for the Court of Appeal is expected to begin soon. In other news, 2 well-known Trinidad and Tobago Calypsonians have expressed support for a proposed live televised debate among candidates vying for the presidency of the Trinbago Unified Calypsonians Organization, or TUCO, ahead of his elections. The suggestion for the forum follows an invitation from TTT Limited Chairman Michael T. Kerr for the state broadcaster to host the debate. Rooted in openness and accountability, Chairman of TTT Limited Michael Kerr extended the invitation for a live televised debate on TTT during an interview on Talk City 91.1 FM's Ground Report on Tuesday morning.
When you're talking about Calypso, I want to share with you, and of course to all the avid listeners out there on Talk City, on TTT and all the stations, the chairman, along with the staff of TTT, is more than willing to facilitate a live debate on television for those vying for the position of president of TUCO. So those who are interested can reach out to us, and we'll have that debate set up.
Calypsonian Kurt Allen thanked the TTT chairman for expressing an interest in helping the Calypso fraternity navigate what he called a very difficult period. However, though he expressed his interest, there is one caveat. The current TUCO president, Ainsley King, must participate.
I want to also say that once Mr. King makes himself available for a debate, I will be more than happy and more than ready to do so. I think it will be counterproductive to do a debate without Mr. King, who is the one who has the organization in this particular position. And the members, we have a lot of questions, and it's only Mr. King can provide the answer to those questions.
TTT News also reached out to Roger Mohammed, known in the Calypso world as the Bodyguard, who indicated that though he has not decided if he wants to throw his hat into the TUCO presidency ring, a debate would be welcome. TUCO has not officially released the date for their annual general meeting, where membership will have the opportunity to vote for the next executive. In more news, Trinidad and Tobago's track and field team were greeted to a hero's welcome at the Piarco International Airport on Tuesday afternoon after returning home with 35 medals at the recently concluded Carifta Games. It was a moment to savor for Jenna Marie Thomas, who broke the junior national record in the girls' under 20 100-meter hurdles, clocking 13.67 seconds, winning silver. Thomas, who is no stranger to medaling at the Games, also won bronze in the girls' 400-meter hurdles.
Feels amazing. That was the goal, to go there and get on the podium, and I was able to do that twice in 2 individual events, so I can be more grateful. I mean, it feels amazing. It wasn't necessarily something I was focused on. Obviously, I was focused on getting personal bests, and I know with that would come records and medals, so it feels amazing, you know, writing my name down in that history book, I guess. I'm so proud of this team, extremely proud. I feel like every single body gave everything they had and left that on the track, and I mean, the result would show that. Team TTO, we're getting there, and I hope the world is ready for us.
Congratulations to all our athletes. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm doing pretty well today. You know, I'm really excited that our athletes have come back, and they've come back victorious. Really did the country proud.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy as well. And today inside the show, actually, we speak with the president, Mr. Ephraim Serrett, on all the success at Carifta.
Right, yeah, we need to, find out what the formula was that everybody was so successful. Really happy to hear it. I see you're pretty in pink today.
Thank you. You are as well, in your somewhat shade of pink.
Somewhat shade of pink, kind of like salmon,
It's salmon. Well, actually, today is International Day of Pink. And also, did you know that pink is the oldest surviving pigment found on Earth?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. All right.
That's a
You
fun
see, every day is a learning day,
Yeah. Do you have anything to teach me today?
No, not too much. Not off the you put me on the spot. You put me on the spot there, Virmala.
Well, I shared something with you today. Now you can go tell everyone that you learned that from me.
Oh yes, I definitely will. I'll give you the credit where the credit is due.
All right, Carrie. Well, we have another packed show for you today, another right here in store as well. Inside the show today, we have the youngest TTMA president, Mr. Emil Ramkisoon, and he's all get up to go just in a few minutes. And of course, Mr. Ephraim Serrett comes up after that to give us the Carifta updates.
All right, so much to look forward to.
All right, Carrie, talk soon.
We will. Thanks so much, Virmala.
You're welcome.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this break.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Attention viewers in Trinidad and Tobago. The Truth of God now airs on the TTT network every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching and teaching of Pastor Jennings as he speaks from God's Holy Bible.
Believe what God says.
The Truth of God, every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on Trinidad and Tobago television. You can also watch The Truth of God 24/7 at the TOG.TV.
It's that time of the year again, my friends. You feel it in the air. Football, football, football. It's back. Everyone's locked in. This is Richard Torpedo Thompson, and my Trinidad and Tobago people. I'll stay this straight. Fans make the game. The cheers, the chants, the passion. That's the heartbeat of football. There's only one 12th man that really brings the energy. That's Andre Errol Batiste on TTT. Every Thursday on TTT. Don't miss it.
Since 1962, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house limes. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Friday, 8th April 2026. The time now, it is 6:09 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. As usual, let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Well, Deputy Commissioner of Police Suzette Martin says the state of emergency is delivering results, with murders down to 96 so far this year, compared to 106 in the same period last year, alongside increased arrest, firearm seizures, and the dismantling of criminal operations. Well, she also emphasized that the measures have strengthened police response and control, with intensified operations and a greater security presence following recent incidents. Well, according to the TTPS, over 111 firearms were seized, and there were more than 1,600 arrests following thousands of searches since the start of the state of emergency. And staying now with news of crime, did you see that police have arrested a 25-year-old man linked to the assault and attempted robbery of Minister Roger Alexander's daughter in December 2024 incident? Well, police are saying that the suspect snatched a gold chain from the victim, and when she tried to take it back, struck her in the face, causing swelling to her jaw. TTT Limited understands that the suspect was recently released from prison. Also, soca superstar Patrice Roberts has been ordered to pay just over $25,000 to a Canadian company after the court partially upheld a breach of contract claim over management services. And the judge found that the company was owed compensation for services and advances, but also ruled it must repay Roberts for digital music sales, allowing her to offset the amounts and pay just the difference. And Justice Mohammed says the case highlights the need for properly executed written contracts in the entertainment industry, especially for management arrangements. And he also noted that clear terms on revenue streams like digital sales, royalties, and even endorsements are crucial to avoid disputes just like this. And I'm sure we all saw that video circulating online about a Caribbean Airlines flight BW528, I believe, which sparked concerns after a retired pilot pointed out on unusual air traffic control questions that made the situation seem like a possible emergency or hijacking. However, Caribbean Airlines has since clarified this incident was actually due to a fake bomb threat that was handled at the time using proper safety protocols. The flight actually landed safely at JFK, and all passengers and crew disembarked without any incident. There are no ongoing issues, and the airline is now urging the public to please rely on official updates rather than just viral speculation. Now, this was something we were closely following last night, just about 2 hours before the 8 p.m. deadline that he actually gave to Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump announced last evening a temporary 2-week pause on planned U.S. military action against Iran following intervention from Pakistan's leadership, including their Prime Minister and Field Marshal. Now, the suspension is conditional on Iran agreeing to immediately reopen and secure the Strait of Hormuz. And Trump described the pause as a double-sided ceasefire, and he claimed that U.S. military objectives have already been achieved and that both countries are close to finalizing a long-term peace agreement. Then he also went on to note that Iran has submitted a 10-point proposal that appears workable, with many past points of conflict reportedly resolved. And the 2-week window is intended to really allow both sides to complete negotiations and potentially avoid further escalation. Well, this morning when we checked for you, oil prices plunged below $100 soon after this announcement. And according to experts, for now, oil markets are breathing a sigh of relief, but volatility isn't going anywhere as traders continue to watch developments across the region. So ultimately, the single most important factor to watch will be how many tankers actually cross the Strait of Hormuz with this new agreement in place. We will, of course, continue to update you on this situation. Well, coming up inside the show today, one of the youngest leaders to head the TTMA, Emil Ramkisoon, joins me on set to discuss his new role, and also straight from the Carifta Games, President of the NAAA, Ephraim Sarat, gives us an exclusive recap of all the events and, of course, Team TTO's success. So you know what to do. Grab your cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
Talk City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Talk City 91.1. Bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever before.
Yes, Talk City 91.1 FM.
A brand new era of talk radio is here. With voices you know, trust, and respect. Get ready for an all-new lineup of the very best in talk. Andy Williams, Rennick Smith, Stephen Reese, Mr. X, Derek Charbodi, Roland Stewart, Sharon Farfan, Sudath Prasad, Heavy Duty, Alex Asing, Karen Francisco, Cherry-Leen Lewis, Short Pants, and more of the voices shaping the national conversation. From hard-hitting current affairs to real community issues, culture, politics, social development, and the stories that matter most to you. This is where Trinidad and Tobago comes to talk.
So I'll go right to on Talk City 91.1, where we're going to give you something new, something hot every day, Monday to Friday.
Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Whatever the skies bring, stay prepared with TTT weather. Committed, accurate, relevant.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Well, this morning we're joined by one of the youngest leaders to ever take the helm of Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association. At just 30 years old, Emil Ramkisoon steps into the presidency at a critical time for the country's manufacturing sector, bringing with him years of experience as an attorney, a business executive, and a four-term vice president of the TTMA. And as the organization marks its 70th year, his leadership comes amid pressing economic challenges, from foreign exchange shortages and trade bottlenecks to calls for greater transparency, local content protection, and economic diversification. With bold ideas on reform, advocacy, and global positioning, he now carries the responsibility of guiding over 750 member companies through an increasingly complex economic landscape. We welcome TTMA President, Mr. Emil Ramkisoon. Good morning, Emil.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on Trinidad and Tobago Morning
Well, congratulations on your recent appointment.
And thanks for the bold introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, you know, we have to tell the people exactly what you've been doing for the longest while. You also served as vice president for
For
quite
4
a bit
years, yes.
before stepping into this position. So I think you would agree you're well seasoned for this.
Very seasoned.
So now you're stepping into this role at just 30 years old. Just to clarify, you are currently 30.
I'm the youngest president to hold the office of the president.
Now,
So
you have some really big shoes to fill, of course, and there's also a generational shift into real change, and this is a sector that has traditionally relied on experience and continuity. How are you planning to bring, everything that you've learned and a fresh new outlook on things into this role?
Being young and the generational shift, I think, that's a question we have gotten from the membership, but I'm not the only one in their shoes. There are a lot of second generation, third generation at my age are taking over their parents' business, any manufacturing industry, and they're currently members on the board that are in my shoes as well. So I think taking over is not really the problem. It's really learning how to transition, because running a company back in the days was easier because we didn't have a foreign exchange crisis. Now we're in a foreign exchange crisis. We have to pivot forward and retool. And as second and third generation, you have to learn how to, balance cash flow, balance paying suppliers, how to use your money to pay raw materials, how to use the foreign exchange that you get from the Exim Bank. Well, that only goes straight to raw materials. Other than that, you don't get foreign exchange much from the bank. You get a little bit, and that goes into other services that you have to pay for, other bills that you have to pay for the companies. So that generational shift is really is a task at the moment. It's not, as you would say, business is as long time. Yeah. You have to take the shift now, and it's a balancing act, really and truly.
But you're not just going into this as a business executive, but also with legal experience for quite a few years. How does your legal background, in your opinion, shape your approach to advocacy and policy in this role?
Well, as you say, I'm an attorney at law. I do have a specialty. I did specialize in corporate and commercial practice of law. And I look at things from a different perspective. I look at things from a wider view, rather than you put something in front of me and I say, okay, let's go ahead with it. I say, okay, let's look at A, B, and C, and then make a decision. And at the TTMA, a lot of things are policy driven. We're not policy makers, as I said in my speech. We're policy informers and recommenders. So at the end of the day, when we look at things, you have to look at the legality of a lot of the things that need to change in the country to move us forward. And when I look at it, I don't just say, okay, let's make a decision, A. I think about it overnight, A, B, and C, and then I make a policy decision making forward at the TTMA.
One of the things you've acknowledged and you are really stepping into is the problem with the foreign exchange shortages. Now, what, in your opinion, or in your goal, I would say, would be a fair and functional forex allocation system for manufacturers right now?
Well, currently, the Exim Bank is, as Minister Tanku said at the AGM, they're looking into Exim Bank, into restructuring the Exim Bank, which I agree, it needs to be restructured in a way that it's allocated properly, right? And the function and the policy of Exim Bank really and truly is to help companies get to that manufacturing stage and get back foreign exchange back into the country. And that is what the Ministry of Finance is really looking at, to restructuring Exim Bank. And I will agree on that, get it back to that system. But currently the gaps in Exim Bank, because sometimes you get an allocation this month and then you have a 2-month gap. And, it really puts a strain on our members.
Another issue that you've also spoken about is the long-standing complaints about delays in VAT refunds. Now, how critical is this issue to business survival, and what kind of urgency is the TTMA pushing for?
Well, honestly, that VAT refunds, it's been like 2 years since last we had a VAT refund injection into the country, right? So it is critical. It's affecting the cash flow of many of our members. we did ask the question at our AGM with the Minister of Finance. He said, you know, there are other things they are dealing with, but they can't give a deliverable on the date. But it is very important to our members. We need the cash flow right now at this point in time.
Yeah, and also I know trade facilitation is also a major talking point, and there are some concerns about port inefficiencies in the inspection process. So how much are these systems really holding back competitiveness in the industry?
Well, in terms of the port, I mean, like for this week, the Assecuda system was down. It held back trade facilitation, getting containers out, and then as a manufacturer, you have to pay demurrage, you have to pay rent, all those things, you know, it piles up. At the end of the day, it's a lot of extra money now that companies, especially manufacturers, have to put out. And it's a delay process. And then sometimes you have export deadlines to meet, so now you need the raw materials. I mean, everybody knows what's going on with the World War, shipping issues. You know, sometimes, so raw materials come in late, and then you have to manufacture a product now to ship out the next week or the next 2 weeks. And it's not just a simple process. You have to get the raw materials in your factory, put it through the machinery, and then that's how it goes. But now when there's a crane down in the port, the Assecuda online system is down, it puts a further delay.
And what about, you also spoke about increasing the container inspections, so that would also exacerbate the problem, right?
Right. So I mean, I said in my speech that I think the current global rate is 7% inspection, right? If we go to 100% inspection, which I saw at the JSC in Parliament, where is that going to put us? It's going to put us back. We need to move forward and keep at the 7% rate. Most manufacturers in Trinidad are globally recognized. They have ISO standards, worldwide standards, all the different standards that have our products compatible to export regionally, internationally. All the raw materials are coming from recognized suppliers that are, you know, international standards. So if customs really sit down and see the suppliers, you know, it's international products coming into the country that will allow us to make the product to move forward. And if you put a 100% inspection rate, really and truly, it's not going to work. You must have that trusted supplier, trust within the manufacturers.
Now you mentioned in your speech as well that you've thrown support, the TTMA has thrown support behind the government's revitalization blueprint. What role do you see local manufacturers playing in that plan?
So actually, we are really in support of the government's blueprint project. The fact that the blueprint project is going to expand a lot for the country in terms of port revitalization, adding hotels. There's a lot of different things. I think the local manufacturing community will support it in terms of the construction phase. Trinidad and Tobago has a big construction manufacturing industry. In terms of the supply phase, supplying different things like such as the chemical detergents, food and beverage. So the blueprint project is really to expand Trinidad and Tobago borders and then get us to that worldwide standard of being #1 in CARICOM. I mean, we are still #1 in CARICOM in terms of supply and manufacturing, but the blueprint project will move us into a different dynamic.
Yeah. Another problem that a lot of local manufacturers complain about is, you know, illicit trade and counterfeit goods, and they're undermining legitimate businesses. So what needs to change at the border and legislative level to ensure that, you know, this stops or we control the situation?
So the illicit trade problem has been always an ongoing problem, and the recent tariffs on tobacco and alcohol, 100% duties, and excise, you're seeing a lot more illicit trade product coming into the country. And we have had consultations with all our manufacturers in alcohol and tobacco. And, you know, they have said, you know, they've seen a decline in sales because the illicit products are getting onto the shelves. And that's the thing with border control. The border control is so much that how much could they really stop? And I mean, back to the 100%, what I was saying, if we go to that 100%, I mean, maybe that's where the government really wants to stop the illicit products coming in. But if, you know, we are still in negotiations, you know, we are talking to various ministers to say, okay, let's get back the tariffs back down.
Now, you've also spoken about the energy advantage that Trinidad and Tobago, am I right? It's energy advantage, you said,
right.
that TNT enjoys. But the rising, well, the fluctuating energy costs at this point in time really is putting pressure on manufacturers. How would you balance the necessary price adjustments and still maintain that competitiveness in the industry so that we continue to take full advantage of that energy advantage?
Well, with the current World War, we import a lot, right? It's no secret. So the energy prices are rising worldwide, right? So raw materials are rising. Like, for instance, my company is energy-based raw materials. So I'm seeing the increase in prices, and a lot of our other members are saying the same thing. But the fact that now Trinidad and Tobago, you know, has entered into negotiations with the US and to get things rolling, if we could manufacture energy in Trinidad and Tobago through the oil and gas sector, it will bring down the cost of everything, and then we will have a flow of foreign exchange back into the country.
I want to ask you, the hot topic these days is the fragmentation within the private sector. So you have companies like Trinidad Cement Limited and Ansa McCall Group stepping away. Now, you have over 750 companies.
750, yeah.
Yeah, around that. So how are you planning to rebuild unity and ensure that all the voices are heard in all of this? I know that's a really big task, but what's your plan in this?
So the natural gas issue was a big issue in the budget. And those two members felt like we didn't advocate enough, which we did. And I've mentioned we don't do things publicly, we do it behind closed doors. So we did talk to NGC privately, we did talk to the Ministry of Energy and Natural Gas. And we did try a lot to keep the rate back down. But those two members, they felt like we didn't do enough. But we have been talking to them on a back and forth. And at the end of the day, I mean, two members leaving the association is not going to sink the membership, right? At the end of the day, because all our members are very still in favor of the work we do at the TTMA. We do a lot of work. It's not just one issue we deal with. We deal with numerous issues.
Yeah, I can only imagine that your plate must be really full, especially stepping into this role. My final question for you is, as we opened the show this morning, we spoke about a lot of global uncertainty. There's shifting geopolitics. So in your opinion, how urgent is it for Trinidad and Tobago to diversify its export markets beyond traditional partners?
I think it's urgent, especially, back to the foreign exchange crisis. I think a lot of TTMA work revolves around foreign exchange crisis. Diversifying markets is very important to us. I mean, we are going to India, TTMA. That will be my first trade mission as the president. We're going on a sourcing mission. Part of the sourcing mission is to source raw materials at cheaper prices, source new machinery, and diversify to get products not just in CARICOM, internationally. So when we manufacture, as I said, we import raw materials of international practices. So let us now export back out as international products. We are number one.
Yeah. Well, before we go, Emil, what are you looking forward to most in this new role?
In this new role is just really to push our manufacturers, as you said, 750 plus members, push our manufacturers forward, get them exporting, get them into new markets, and really, the foreign exchange crisis is just the hot topic, and how we could get more foreign exchange back into the country and use it to reinvest.
With a lot of young people at the helm of many organizations. We find the comments on social media saying like that really gives a lot of other young people hope that, you know, there is a role and space in leadership positions for young people going forward. So how do you feel about that as well, going in at this age?
At this age, I feel positive. I mean, as I said before, you know, it's not just me being in this position, it's a lot of second and third generation at my age, older or younger, and, you know, they feel a lot of hope seeing somebody younger taking up this position, and the things I advocate for, you know, they like to see it.
Thank you so much, Emil. The youngest TTMA president to date, Emil Ramkisoon. We look forward to seeing all of your great work in the future, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me on the show this morning.
All right. Well, Trinidad and Tobago Today continues after the break. So much more in store for you today.
From all over Trinidad and Tobago, Anil wrapping roti at lightning fast speed.
Sandra nailing every order in her hardware.
Lisa, who is in sync with style. There is no buffering at her boutique.
And Dr. Alex filling prescriptions with care. They're all part of the 5,000 strong businesses connected and growing with reliable, high-speed service from Amplia.
Now it's your turn.
Because with Amplia,
you're in good company. Amplia Business.
Bye-bye to my old self. Wake up to the new me.
Coming soon. A new sound. A new class. Next 99.1 FM. The next level of radio.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Since 1962, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack. Whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house limes, we are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Trinidad and Tobago delivered a remarkable performance at the 53rd Carifta Games held from April 4th to the 6th, 2026 at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium in Grenada, finishing an impressive second overall with a total of 35 medals. That's 9 gold, 11 silver and 15 bronze. And this marks a 10-medal improvement from 2025. Led by standout performances from top athletes, Team TTO showcased depth resilience, and, of course, the strength of its next generation of athletes. With a 92-member delegation, including 74 athletes, TNT exceeded expectations and reinforced its position as a regional powerhouse in track and field. Well, to discuss this outstanding achievement and what it means for the future of athletics in Trinidad and Tobago, we're joined by President of the National Association of Athletics Administrations, Mr. Ephraim Sarrett. Good morning, Mr. Sarrett.
Good morning.
Well, congratulations to you and the team. A job well done, and we're so happy to see everything that you achieved at Carifta.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of hard work, but we continue to work with our young athletes to get them to represent at their best regionally and on the international stages.
Well, I know, Mr. Sarrett, we spoke right before the trials, and you were getting ready for the, just preparing the trials, and then, of course, getting ready as a team. And we know that you put a lot of work into this. And TTO actually finished second with 35 medals. Now, this is, I think, 5 more than you anticipated and 10 more than last year. So how would you assess the team's overall performance at the Games?
I think it was an exceptional performance. The athletes, we tried to get them to believe in themselves and to trust the whole process, the work that they would have put in, and, to go and give their best. Besides the 35 medals, there were athletes who did not hit the podium, but would have done personal best. And that too, we need to notice as well, them going there and performing to the best of their ability. So I normally say to them, you're on the big stage and we need to not underperform. So you're running with the best in the region. And then those athletes who are, running at the fast times, they should pull you to a best performance. So I think the athletes did give up their best. And to that, I think what assisted. There's a Trinidad and Tobago Track and Field Supporters Association with some parents and supporters who travel with the team. And I think just competing and knowing that you have that support in the stadium, in the arena, seeing your flags, who parents are there, I think that also assisted in the performances of the athletes.
And how did the athletes feel when, the team started to exceed the early predictions and even what you thought it was going to be? It exceeded all of that. So how did they feel?
Well, the thing about the Games is, and every athlete, when they go to represent Trinidad and Tobago, wants to return with a medal. So I think they among themselves, from the time the medals start coming in, people start thinking that, I need to get my game together, and also they would want to have a medal to show their participation, whether it's for the team, in the relays, or in their individual event.
So we saw incredible performances. We had athletes like Tanique Vincent, Michael Paul. That dominant under-20 boys 4x100 meter relay victory was definitely something. Now, these performances are very important for the future of TNT athletics, as you described when you were here for the trials. Can you describe the significance of those wins?
Well, it now leads to the World Junior Championships in August in Oregon. So these games were a platform to gauge where they are and going to compete on the international stage in August at the World Junior Championships. You mentioned the 4x1 under-20 boys. The only other junior team that would have run faster than that would have been a team with Mark Burns and Daryl Brown. As a junior team to run 39.6 is a lot of running. And could you imagine that there are persons missing from this team? The Bob Semples, the Briggs, you have young Jaden Goodrich, who also did a personal best as under 17 at the Games, running 10.39. So our base is very strong where that sprint relay, and I think that's where we need to start building on, not for 28, but for 2032, to get back on the world stage with our men's sprint team as well as our women's sprint team.
Mr. Sarrett, I know that we had medals coming across multiple disciplines as well. Would you say that this was a well-balanced team, or one of the most well-balanced Carifta teams that TNT has produced?
I would want to say yes. In 2010 in Cayman Islands, we would have gotten 40 medals. And we always measure the field events and the track events, how the medals. Back then, the field events would have accounted for almost 50% of the total medals won. In 2005 in Tobago, 37 medals, and same thing. We had that kind of almost balance between the field events and the track events. This time around, we had various, all across the spectrum, the multi-eventers, in the Vincent twins, Kerry Obley from Tobago, Caleb Campbell, those multi-eventers really give it all. I mean, it's not easy to go to these games over 3 days. You have 10 events in the decathlon over 2 days, and the HEP athletes had 7 events over 2 days. There's a lot of work, and I think they were very outstanding. The multi-eventers, and the performance for me of the championships would have been the boys under 20 4x1 relay.
I want to talk a little bit about the association. You had 74 athletes representing Trinidad and Tobago. So that was a huge feat for the NAAA to manage, support, and encourage so many athletes in one event. So what does that say about the organization in your opinion, and the strength of the organization?
Well, I would want to thank the Minister of Sports and the government of Trinidad and Tobago by extension for allowing us to participate at these games, by providing the necessary funding. For the trials this year, we would have raised our standards. I know some of our coaches weren't happy with that, but the athletes rose to the challenge, and I think that is one of the things that gave us that the type of performance we saw over the last weekend. And it's something we would continue to look at, raising the bar to get our athletes, because Carifta, unlike World Championships or the World Juniors, there are no qualifying standards to go to the Carifta. But each country, looking at performances over the years, will develop their own standards. So we look at performances over a 2-3 year period and develop our standards as a gauge to select athletes. We also would give athletes who we find consistently just bordering on the standard, so we would give them those such athletes opportunities so that they could go and show their worth and probably raise their standard when they get to the games. We had 1 or 2 athletes who didn't qualify based on our standard, but we felt that they were performing relatively decent, so that we could give them that opportunity. And there were a couple of them who went and they did personal best, So those are the things we do. I always tell the story of Jessica James, who was just outside the girls under 17 800 meters standard of 218, running 219, 220. And given that opportunity, she went to the games, got a bronze medal, and ran 211. How far from, way better than the 218 standard that we set. So those are the things we look at, and we explain that and try as best as possible to keep the athletes focused. I mean, the national coaches communicate with the club coaches in order to get these types of performances.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sarrett, for joining us this morning. Any closing words to the team after this amazing performance?
Well, the thing now is whether corporate Trinidad would see what we are doing and come on board, to support the federation so that we can continue the programs that we want to use to develop our young athletes. So we need the support of corporate Trinidad and Tobago to come on board to support our athletes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ephraim Sarad, for joining us. Congrats again, and we know that you'll continue to soak up all of this success and the celebrations continue.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. Well, Trinidad and Tobago's track and field team were greeted to a hero's welcome at the TUCO International Airport on Tuesday afternoon after they returned home with 35 medals at the recently concluded Carifta Games. And for some, it was a moment they would never forget. Adrian Lazar reports.
TTO do it! TTO do it! TTO do it!
Another Carifta Games has gone, as the chant said, Team TTO did it. Family and well-wishers with the soothing sound of the rhythm section welcomed the Trinidad and Tobago Carifta track and field team, who won 35 medals at this year's Games. Their performance was this country's best performance since 2010 and the third best showing overall according to team manager Kuki Melville. We caught up with some of the triumphant athletes at the TUCO International Airport who couldn't be more happy, starting with Eden Chiwa, who spoke on her bronze medal performance in the girls under-17 relay and was upbeat when asked on her fourth place finish in the girls under-17 200-meter dash.
I'd say it was a good experience. I tried my best, I put out all my work, and I'm happy with my results. I was a little disappointed that I didn't place, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm just taking it step by step, and hopefully next year I can put in more work and make the podium. So I'm very happy that I could put in the work for my team, and I kind of just used the frustration from the 200 to help me push more and make my team proud.
It was a moment to savor for Jenna Marie Thomas, who broke the junior national record in the girls under-20 100-meter hurdles, clocking 13.67 seconds, winning silver.
It feels amazing. That was the goal, to go there and get on the podium, and I was able to do that twice in 2 individual events, so I can be more grateful. I mean, it feels amazing. It wasn't necessarily something I was focused on. Obviously, I was focused on getting personal bests, and I know with that would come records and medals, so it feels amazing, you know, writing my name down in that history book, I guess.
And one of the standout stories was 15-year-old Nyla Kerr, who, despite making the Carifta team last year, was unable to compete due to injury. She finally made her debut in 2026 and went on to win gold in the 1500-meter final and bronze in the 4x400 relay.
It feels really good to me, honestly. I put in the work and I was determined to at least make at least one medal on the podium, and I am very grateful to the grace of God that I am able to leave with 2.
Words can't explain. And it's always an honor to watch your children do better than you in life. And I'm so proud that I can't even talk right now. She did well, and I'm really, really proud of her.
Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
Once again, congratulations to Team TTO bringing home 35 gold in the Carifta Games. Well, this morning we are joined by Metamorphosis Kisoon, Head of Marketing at UTC, as we talk all about the UTC SEA Children's Investment Starter Plan, or CSIP promotion. Good morning, Hema.
Good morning, Vishala, and good morning to all of your viewers. I know it's a mouthful, but we're here to talk a little bit about a promotion that UTC is having, specifically for all of the students who wrote the SEA exam. So, Unitrust Corporation was started in 1982. Our vision, our mission remains to democratize wealth creation. That is, we want everyone to say that they're an investor. And what better way to start than with the younger students and with the young generation of Trinidad and Tobago. So for all of the students who wrote the SEA exam this year in 2026, if you come and you open this particular fund with us, UTC is gifting you $200 worth of units. So when you come and you make a $500 deposit, we are then gifting you that to start your investment journey. We understand the importance of starting young, and the CISP is really one of the strongest products that we have. So it's a growth and income fund. There's a component of growth and income in it, so you get dividends, but it continues to work with the stock market. You continue to reinvest. But the sweetener parts of this, Vishal, is when we did all of our research, everyone said the one thing that changes a lot with them when their children start secondary school would be their grocery bill. So within the period which starts from the day that the SC exam was written, which was the 26th of March, until April 30th, we have a promotion running that once you open the account, you have the opportunity to win $3,000 worth of grocery vouchers. So once you start that, you won't feel the hit on your grocery bill too much. But it's always on a more serious note, starting the investment journey.
And who qualifies for this promotion?
Anyone who wrote the SC exam, and I also want to expand that a little bit on that. A lot of persons have been calling us to ask if they are SC, if they are CISP holders, what do they benefit from? So this is phase 1 of the promotion. Our second phase will start in about June, July. So stay tuned for all of the news. But once you've written the SC exam in 2026, you can qualify for this promotion.
Yeah, so it's a $500 deposit, right?
Yeah.
So can you add more after that?
And that's the kind of behavior that we do encourage. So as with any mutual fund, it continues to grow once you continue to nurture the investment. We are really encouraging at a time when there is immediate gratification. So everyone sort of wants an immediate quick fix. We have to also get our young people into the culture of savings and investing. So we encourage you every single month to make an investment towards it. We don't tell you how much to make. Any little, you know, I think people have this little saying in Trinidad, chirp, chirp.
Yeah.
So you kind of do a little bit and a little bit. But what we tell parents is that in a blink of an eye, your child will be 18. And at that point, they will decide to pursue another course of life. And you will not have to dig too deep in your pockets to find the money. The fund does grow, and it is associated with the Unit Trust Corporation, which is a $25 billion fund. And it still remains the largest mutual fund in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and how do you open an account? What documents do you need, and where can accounts be opened?
So we have 9 investment centers throughout the country. We also have a number of agents who operate within the UTC ecosystem. I encourage persons to go on our website, which is utc.com. But in addition to that, you asked about what you need. So it's a utility bill, a form of ID. And to benefit from this promotion, to get the gift of the $200 worth of units, you need your SCA slip. The account is held in the name of the parent, and at the age of 18, it is transferred on to the child.
Right. And just a reminder that you can add more money later after the $500.
And that is really what we want. It's kind of just encouraging. Continue to add. Look at it. You know, when I talk to people about financial literacy, I joke and I say, if I know now what I knew, if I know then what I know now, my life would be very different. But understand the importance of investing, understand the financial markets that we operate in, understand the fees associated with savings accounts versus investments accounts, understand where you are investing. And we encourage persons to come forward to visit any of our advisors and to understand what your life goals will be.
Yeah, where can you get more information about this?
So we encourage persons to go online, ttutc.com, to give us a call, to come into any of our investment centers. We also have a number of agents, as I mentioned. And we also can come to you as well. This is really just starting very, very important decisions in your life, and it's starting an important journey in your life, your journey to financial empowerment.
Yeah, and I know that UTC is consistently investing in the young people as well. I know there may be future plans for anything, for more programs like this or anything existing like this, and they can find all the information on UTC's pages.
Yes.
So just to recap again, this is the CSIP, and give us a quick debrief about that again. What exactly is the CISP?
So the CISP is part of the Unit Trust Corporation's slew of investment products. As with any other investment, there are risks associated with it. It does have a growth and income component of it. So it continues to grow the longer you have it. You can get the benefit of the dividends or you can reinvest with it. Why choose UTC? We are the largest mutual fund in the Caribbean. We're 42 years in existence. We're backed by the SIFI title, which means that we are protected by the Act of Parliament and also considered systematically important to the financial sector. So you are protected. And I want people to also be aware of what the risks are associated with when you open an investment account.
All right. Thank you very much, Hema, Head of Marketing at UTC. And before we go, I just want to say that this is such a full circle moment, just sitting on the other side of Hema at this point. I mean, 13 years later, I sat where she was, and it's really a full circle moment. So it's really, really, really nice to have you here with us, Hema. And congratulations on all all you have achieved.
Well, congratulations to you for making here your home, and also always a reminder of my age. But
you know, we're not going to remind ourselves about the age this morning.
But congratulations again.
Thank you, Hema. So Hema Ramkissoon, head of marketing at UTC, sharing all about that Children's Investment Starter Plan. You can find all the information that you need on UTC's pages. Well, we've got the major network news coming up now with Carrie at the top of the hour. When we come back, we talk about esports and so much more on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, Dominic Smith, says this push into artificial intelligence is about people first. Speaking to TTT News at an Easter event in Carapo, Minister Smith said government is focusing on developing skills from within the public service while carefully expanding the use of new technologies.
Focus this year and the past year has been about human capital development, and how do we develop the human capital from the inside of the public service? How do we now amplify the use of technology through artificial intelligence?
He said that work includes partnerships with some of the world's leading technology companies and international institutions to guide the responsible use of AI.
We partner with OpenAI, which is one of the, if not the premier institution that is leading the AI drive. We partner with companies such as Grammarly. We're working with persons who have done it before, the UNDP, UNESCO. We've done the RAM assessment. We've done what we call the ILA. So a lot of work is being done.
The minister stressed that Trinidad and Tobago cannot afford to lag behind as digital government systems are expanding across the globe. He added that technology should be inclusive, ensuring all citizens have access regardless of where they live, and stressed that ethical principles must guide the use of artificial intelligence, cautioning against allowing technology to overshadow human values. In other news, two ministers have reaffirmed their commitment to reducing negative stigma, advancing youth development, and improving infrastructure in the Carapo community. The pledge was made while they attended an Easter Family Fun Day held in the area on Easter Monday. Residents of Carapo, working with the Evergreen United organization, hosted a community event to challenge the long-standing negative perceptions and showcase positive efforts in the area. Speaking to TTT News, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadija Amin, said such an event highlighted the progress made in the area. She praised the assistance from Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, Dominic Smith, noting that the Easter Family Fun Day represented more than just festivities.
And today is important because there's a lot of negative stigma attached to Carapo, and what the organization is doing will help to put Carapo on the map for positive things. So I'm really happy about it, and I'm doubly happy because Dominic Smith worked with us for election. He was the candidate, and after election he never left us. So as a community, he has supported events to help the young people grow, get more organized, attend their meetings, assist in the community, assist in vulnerable cases.
And Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, Dominic Smith, reiterated his dedication to youth development, addressing vulnerable cases and supporting community-based initiatives.
So the kids are happy, the community is alive, and we want to continue doing this type of work because this is the mandate of the government to treat with the people, to meet them where they are, and under the leadership of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, we are supported by her from the top, and we are happy to come now and to contribute to the society and to have everyone benefit.
The Easter Monday event at the Evergreen Recreation Ground in Carapo served as a platform for youth empowerment and strengthening community ties. In some sport now, Trinidad and Tobago's Carifta track and field team is home, and the government is calling their performance in Grenada nothing short of historic. Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs, Philip Watts, welcomed the athletes back on Tuesday afternoon, saying the team returned with 35 medals. The minister called it the country's best Carifta showing since 2010 and possibly the third best performance in the game's history.
To return home with a total of 35 medals, 9 golds, 11 silvers, and 15 bronze, and to place second on the medal table is an extraordinary accomplishment. This is our best Carifta performance since 2010, and perhaps our third best performance ever at the Games.
And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. After the break, we return to Trinidad and Tobago Today.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports. Committed, accurate, relevant. TTT Weather with Zaina James, daily at 7 p.m.
Hi everybody, I am Leah.
And I'm Dion.
And we are
The Duncans.
Listen, we're here to tell you about a project the Lord has given to us called the Marriage Confessional. It is geared toward married couples, those that are on the road to marriage, and those that want to get married one day.
So join us on TTT and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just for you. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun. Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock on Trinidad and Tobago today. Well, a secluded beach, one of 7 in the area that spans between Paramin and Maracas along the north coast. Cyril Bay was once regarded as one of the most popular back in the day. For this installment of Right Here, Carrie Roberts introduces some and reacquaints others with this paragon of nature's beauty.
I'm here on the North Coast Road and it's a beach day.
Did you know that before Maracas, there are several beaches on the north coast that you can get to, but it's not so easy as taking a drive down like it would be for Maracas. Today's adventure takes us to Cyril Bay, and here we are at the checkpoint where you stop off, and from here you're going to go on foot. You're going to go downhill for about half an hour, and after that you're going to see the beauty that is there at Cyril Bay. For those of you who think that's too much effort, take it easy. I will do the work.
We are joined by a friend for this expedition that takes us through old plantation lands that were once used to cultivate coffee, cocoa, and sugarcane, and it's relatively easy since it's all downhill. Bench trails below what is now the North Coast Road link the plantations along the hilly terrain, but most of those have long disappeared due to landslips or lack of maintenance. The trail to the destination is pronounced but winds its way down the hillside. Thankfully, there are colored ribbons placed sporadically along the trail to guide the way, as there are sometimes forked paths. In other places, fallen trees or debris may have blocked the original route, compelling hikers to find an alternative. Watch your step, as there are many trip hazards on the way. If you do have to fall though, try to fall toward the hillside instead of taking the expressway down to the lower levels. 0 stars, would not recommend. Terrain aside, the mostly shaded path is the stuff nature therapy is made of.
So at this juncture, we have two options. We could either go that way that you just saw, that is pretty treacherous but quicker, or behind me, where the trail is a little bit longer, but it's a much safer way to go. It's up to you to choose, but I think we're going to choose speed.
Not too far past this, and the opportunity for a side quest presents itself. A not-so-quick detour off the main path reveals a clearing that I can only refer to as an oasis in the wilderness. An oasis with an ominous name, Mapipi Falls. It did not come as advertised, as there was not a viper to be seen, but no one here is complaining. Yet another detour beckons as the trail leads downriver and behind some bushes. Letting curiosity lead, we stumble upon the ruins of a seaside villa. One I am sure holds many stories, but will likely remain a mystery forever. Across the bay, the destination is so close, but still out of reach. To get there, we must double back on the path to the main trail. After investing some sweat equity, the once shrouded view now becomes clear.
And here we are at Cyril Bay at long last. We had a couple detours to make some interesting things to see, but now we are at the picturesque, perfect destination. This place features so many things. There's a waterfall that actually falls directly on the beach over that way. Wonderful shoreline itself. And as you can see, it's high tide. So what you need to do is make sure you pay attention to water and sea advisories to ensure that you go on a day that is safe. Today, a little bit rocky, but still a nice day for the beach, and the sun is shining hot. Right, so I made this trip today with my friend Maya, who's here from Austria. And Maya, what is it like for your first time being at Cyril Bay?
It's really beautiful down here, beautiful beach. I mean, it has quite high tide today, but it's really beautiful. The waves are beautiful, the way down is beautiful, and yeah.
But I am dreading the way back up.
Yeah.
And we have to go back up there now.
Yeah, we'll survive it.
We'll survive.
In this case, what goes down must go back up. But after such a nice adventure, even the challenging trip back couldn't bring our spirits down. I'm Carrie Roberts, giving you a glimpse into the paradise we have right here.
This segment was brought to you by Caribbean Glass Specialists Limited, with over 65 years in business, delivering superior quality aluminium windows, doors and shower enclosures, along with complete glass and aluminium solutions for residential and commercial spaces, with supply and installation across Trinidad and Tobago and exports throughout the region. Craftsmanship you can trust.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago continues to make its mark on the global stage, not just in sports like athletics, but now in the rapidly growing world of esports. Well, joining us today is Akil O'Connor, a teacher, scholastic esports director, and an international player manager who recently represented at the Global Esports Federation World Championships in Mumbai, India. And there, he served as player manager for one of the world's top Clash Royale athletes competing for Team USA, while also contributing to global discussions on youth development, education, and the future of esports. And with over 2 decades of experience, not 2 years, in gaming, education, and esports development, he's now at the forefront of introducing structured esports programs into schools across TNT, and he's bridging the gap between passion, profession, and education. So now we're talking all about esports and education, its potential as a career path, and what it means for TNT to be part of this massive global movement. Good morning, Akil, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So as we were talking off the air, my first question to you is, what exactly is esports?
So esports is defined as competitive gaming. So there's two types of gaming. There's casual gaming and there's competitive gaming. And that's what esports is.
So when we heard esports, and then I researched this and I said, well, this has to be gaming, or it's not just gaming. So people actually make money out of this.
Correct. Now, so as we know, the children, even adults, play games all the time on our phones, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. We play games all the time. That's casual gaming, where you're on your couch, you play with your friends. That's casual. When it becomes competitive gaming is when there's a structured atmosphere, where there's a tournament prize pool. In fact, you may even go to a venue like an arena or a stadium, and that is esports. And did you know esports has been in Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years.
Wow. And you've been involved in this for as long as that?
I have been involved in esports for over 20 years in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow. So esports can be used as a tool in education. Am I right?
Yes, it can.
Tell us how.
Because there's actually, so that is called scholastic esports. Yes. That's where we merge the learning of esports with the competition that is, we merge the learning that is scholastic with the competition as esports. So one of the best examples I could give you is something called farmcraft. As the name sounds, it's farming.
Why does it sound like Farmville?
Farmville with Minecraft, farmcraft. And it's an international agricultural competition. And did you know Trinidad and Tobago placed second in this? This just happened in December.
I love that.
There was an international educational agricultural competition, and we placed second in the world. First was Japan, third was South Korea.
Now, why don't more people know about this? The fact that Trinidad and Tobago placed second as well, that is huge.
This is because there is lack of stakeholder investment.
I see.
I would say there's no, and by stakeholders, by extension, I also mean ministry involvement. Right. So because the larger stakeholders don't know about it, it still remains niche.
Right. Now, people are still seeing gaming as a hobby, and you're saying, well, you can make an entire career out of this. So I know you recently managed, I believe his name is Wallace.
Yes.
We're seeing some footage on this screen as well. And I was just telling you, seeing him gearing up for this game, I could have sworn this was something very physical.
Now, let me tell you, Wallace, let me put a comparison into something people can relate to. Do you know Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yes.
He's literally Cristiano Ronaldo of Clash Royale. Clash Royale is a mobile game. It's a phone game. He's one of the top 10 players in the world.
Wow.
And I was tasked to manage him.
How did you land this?
Now, that's a very good question because when I got to India, so I represented Team USA. Clearly, I'm not American.
Okay.
So a lot of people kept asking, but because I wore my Trinidad flag very proudly on my chest. And they said, but you don't have a American accent. Wow. So the question is, how did I land that? I landed because I have an extensive background in esports. I've been a player, I've been a tournament organizer, commentator, editor, writer, and these things, they were known to America because I did a project with the US Embassy a couple of years ago, and I was actually given the title Esports Expert in the Caribbean and South America. And by extension, I do work with NASEF, the Network of Academic and Scholastic Esports Federation, and they are quite aware of my rap sheet of esports. So they know my extensive history and knowledge. And when the opportunity came up to go to India, instead of extending it to someone in America, they gave it to me in Trinidad. Because in Trinidad, we actually have a healthy scholastic esports reputation, which people don't know actually.
Yeah.
And because of the work I do in scholastic esports, they extended the opportunity for me to go to India to manage Wallace, one of the top players in the world.
Now, what did it mean for you to represent not just Trinidad, but the Caribbean? You said you wore your national flag as well.
I did, and so I'm sorry I didn't wear it right here. I didn't wear it today. I wore my Trinidad pin proudly on this jersey every single day. And that I was in India, because I wanted people to know I am from Trinidad and Tobago and I represent Trinidad and Tobago. While I am Team USA, I am a Trini first and foremost.
Now, how viable is esports as a career path today?
Using Wallace as an example, Wallace is a professional. And you just mentioned esports as a career. He earns his living playing games all day. Now, do you know what streaming is?
Yes.
Right, he streams. He streams on YouTube, he streams on Twitch, he streams on TikTok. When he streams, he averages over 1,000 people casually. In its peak, over 10,000.
Yeah.
He produces YouTube content. He's on a structured team. So when he's not streaming, he's actually practicing. Even when we were in India, he had scheduled times where he had to go and practice 2 hours per day.
Just like any other sport.
Which was because we were having dinner. He's like, sir, I need to go and practice. I was like, Wallace, it's dinner with all the other countries. He's like, no, I need to practice for 2 hours.
Very disciplined.
Very disciplined.
As in every other, not just sport, but anything that you pick up. And it's not just a hobby.
And funny enough, that's what people don't understand. People say gaming is just pressing buttons.
Yes.
But if he's pressing buttons, then how is he making it a lifestyle?
There must be some
not
strategy.
A hobby. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. So
yeah. So what would you say, before we go, Akil, to young people or just people in general in TNT who may be passionate about gaming and actually want to get a career out of it?
So if you want to get a career out of it, the first step is not gaming, esports. We use the correct terminology.
Yes.
Gaming is casual. If you want to get into esports, take it one step further. And as I saw with Wallace, it's not because in Trinidad and Tobago, the game I represent, a Clash Royale, is not a popular game. It's not represented in esports in Trinidad. So some people might be playing games like, I'm just using a really crazy example, Candy Crush.
Yes.
And you may say, I'm really good
I'm
at
very good at Candy Crush.
Oh my gosh, I was making that as a joke. And you might say you're really good at Candy Crush.
Thousands at this point.
And you might be really good at Candy Crush. And you may be surprised. There may be a competitive community in Candy Crush. And what it comes down to is pushing yourself further, seeing what's out there. And then with the support of your local esports community, you may find that there are opportunities for you out there that you may not know. Just like with Clash Royale, with Dota 2, with Street Fighter, and so on. Even FIFA. Did you know we have a national FIFA player who competes in international tournaments?
No, I did not know that.
No, you know. So esports is available for everyone, but it's about exploring what is out there.
And it's definitely trending, and it's a conversation that we want to have again with you. Akil, thank you for joining us this morning. Congratulations and welcome back home.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's esports. Are you interested in gaming? Well, you can probably make a career out of it with esports. That's something to look into. Well, if you're wondering what the weather is going to be like today, maybe you want to make some plans, maybe you're off today, want to head to the beach, well, you never know. You probably can do that. We have a weather update now from our weather girl on TTT, Zaina James.
A large Saharan dust plume is currently out over the Atlantic and could push concentrations from mild up to moderate levels by the end of the week. Heading into Wednesday, the drying trend continues with mostly sunny conditions expected across both islands and a low chance for brief showers near hilly areas during the late morning into the afternoon. Temperatures will reach around 32 degrees in Trinidad and 31 degrees in Tobago. Across our seas, easterly winds are expected to increase, keeping wave heights on the higher end of moderate between 2 and 2.5 meters in open waters, with some choppy conditions possible, particularly around Tobago's sheltered areas.
Attention viewers in Trinidad and Tobago. The Truth of God now airs on the TTT network every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching of Pastor Jennings as he speaks from God's Holy Bible. The Truth of God, Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on the TTT network.
Coming soon. A new sound. A new class. A new class. Next 99.1 FM, the next level of radio.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
That time of the year again, my friends. Feel it in the air. Football, football, football. It's back. Everyone's locked in. This is Richard Torpedo Thompson, and my Trinidad and Tobago people. I'll stay this straight. Fans make the game. Cheers, chants, passion. That's the heartbeat of football. There's only one 12th man that really brings the energy. That's Andre Errol Batiste on TTT. Every Thursday on TTT. Don't miss it.
Hi everybody, I am Leah.
And I'm Dion.
And we are
The Duncans.
Listen, we're here to tell you about a project the Lord has given to us called the Marriage Confessional. It is geared toward married couples, those that are on the road to marriage, and those that want to get married one day.
So join us on TTT and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
as you know, every Wednesday we chat with the team from Camino Realty International, a Caribbean-based real estate company offering a range of property services across the region. With us this morning, we have Roseanne Pereira, Real Estate and Property Management Manager, and Rachel Ramlal, Managing Director of Camino Properties International. Good morning, Rachel and Roseanne.
Hi.
Welcome back. So it's been a week since we last spoke, and I have a few questions for you today on pre-qualification. So what exactly is pre-qualification?
So a pre-qualification is basically the initial estimate any financial institution will be willing to loan you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And why is this important?
Because it gives you a head start. You know, it gives you an idea of what price bracket or price range to look at when you are looking at properties.
And how important is knowing that when you're heading into purchasing?
So it basically gives you that estimate as to what you're looking for. So therefore, you don't go looking for a property that's worth like $3 million when in reality, you might only be able to pre-qualify it for 2.5 million or vice versa, you know, around there.
Yeah.
And what documents are usually required for pre-qualification?
So these are like basic documents that I would assume everybody should have. So it's like 1 to 2 forms of ID, and this will all be based on which financial institution that you will be going at. So 1 to 2 forms of ID, proof of address, it's 1 to 12 months payslip, a job letter, and if you have any credit cards, your credit card statements.
Yeah, and of course the documents will vary, again, as she said, based on the institution you are being qualified with. I know some institutions may use your most recent payslip and you can get qualified with that alone, versus the others, as she said, may ask you for up to 12 months payslips.
Yeah, well, Roseanne, what factors are considered during the pre-qualification process?
So they basically go based on your age, your income, and your debt. Yeah.
Yeah, and is pre-qualification a guarantee of final approval?
No, it's not, because it's an estimate. So it's like they give you a range of what you can work with. And it's only as you go further into the process, then they would do things like credit checks. So you may be pre-qualified for a certain amount, you may get pre-approved for that amount. But then if you go and you take out a loan while that process is going on, it affects the final figure that you are going to be pre-approved for.
Yeah, well, I know Roseanne just told us what documents you need, and it's
Yes.
on the screen. So if our viewers want to take a look at that and just make note of what you should be walking with to this process, right? Any misconceptions that people probably have about pre-qualification?
So a lot of persons think, you know, I'm pre-qualified, so therefore this is what I can get.
Yeah.
But in reality, it does not work like that. There is the final approval process that you have to go through, where they will dig deep into your financial situations. You know, they will check, again, as she said, they do the credit checks and all of these things. So, yeah.
Yeah, so Roseanne, essentially this is to know, this is what I can afford, this is what I
Correct.
might have.
Yes.
So let me start getting my ducks in a row, let me start
Correct.
putting things in place.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a high possibility or probability that I might be able to go forward with this.
Correct.
But there's still always a room in that, there's room for the bank saying, no, like you really can't do this. But, you know, hopefully it inspires people to honestly go forward with the process. So any tips you would give anyone going through this pre-qualification process at this point?
Yes. So the most important thing is to be honest about your finances. So we understand that's a sensitive topic for persons. And again, we try to build that trust with our clients because we actually get them pre-qualified
Right.
before they go to the financial institution. So we already have a pretty good idea of what we're working with and that helps us determine which financial institution they should be pre-qualified with. And then it also helps us determine which properties they should be looking at. So honesty is very important because, again, we've had instances where clients told us, this is my income, this is my loan amount, etc. And it's only afterwards everything was submitted and banks were doing their final check, they realized this person had additional loans that wasn't disclosed to us. So it obviously drastically affected the pre-qualification amount.
Yes, so there's also a lot of work on your side to ensure that everything is accurate. How can viewers know if they're ready to apply, if they are ready to go through this process?
So I would say, as long as you have the documents that was on the screen previously, as long as you have that, you're ready?
Yeah.
You're ready?
Yeah, the documents on the screen once again, we can tell you exactly what you need for this process. So it's here. It's all of these things that you're seeing on the screen right now: 1 to 2 forms of ID, proof of address, 1 to 12 months payslips, job letter, and your credit card statements. And please, as Rachel and Roseanne said, disclose everything and to be honest about it, because then you're probably going to
your
yes,
chances
exactly,
of
you end
getting
up with a result that is not what you hoped for. Well, thank you very, very much, ladies, for joining me. We'll see you next week once again.
Yes.
And thank you so much to Camino Realty. We do this on Wednesday, tell you all about real estate. If you are getting ready to apply, maybe you're doing a little shift purchasing, renting, or anything like that, we will get you ready. Trinidad and Tobago Today continues after this short break.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Every morning begins with a story, the headlines you need, the voices you trust, the conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you, conversations that spark new ideas, stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugs Bot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch terrific Toon Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Unforgettable artistic experience as the Metamorphosis dance company, the performance arm of the Caribbean School of Dancing, prepares to present its 32nd annual season at Queen's Hall, Port of Spain. Well, this year's production, titled Illumination: A Journey Through Light and Becoming, promises to push creative boundaries, blending dance with immersive theater, innovative lighting, and digital elements to create a fully transformative experience, one where the audience becomes part of the story. Well, this takes place on Saturday, April 18th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, April 19th at 6 p.m., highlighting the sustainability in the arts and costumes being upcycled from past performances, including pieces inspired by legendary designers like Peter Minshall and Carlisle Chang. Well, joining us this morning to tell us all about it are Nancy Herrera, co-founder of the Metamorphosis Dance Company, and Jada Johnstone, creative director of Illumination. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning.
So we are gearing up for a great weekend of dance and magic, I would say. But Nancy, I know that this is the 32nd annual season. What makes Illumination and this production different from previous productions?
Because it goes beyond just you sitting there as a member of the audience and dance after dance appears. In the past, I would say it was a curated season of choreographers. But this season, there is an actual narrative, a narrative thread that weaves all of the pieces together into a cohesive whole that brings you into the experiencing dance, both with the sight, the sound, you know, immersed in the whole dance performance.
And I know that the audience will become part of the show as well. Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, so this show is going to be integrating some immersive theatre principles, which has a lot to do with audience participation and interactive storytelling. You know, we have multiple shows that are on Broadway right now that include audience participation in those shows, and this is sort of, we're bringing a taste of that to this show by sort of really making the audience feel like they are part of the story that we're telling, which could include 360-degree storytelling, but it also may include some interactions with a special character that we've developed for the show.
I'm guessing we have to wait until the show to find out about that.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Nancy, can you tell us about the theme? I know it's light and becoming. What is the story or message that you're hoping that audiences will take away from this?
Well, the backstory of Illumination is that I set a challenge saying, you know, gosh, let's try something different. And instead of going to maybe Queen's Hall or Napa, what if we went to do like a site-specific piece of work? What, as theatre practitioners, what would we really miss about the theatre? And we all collectively said light. So the challenge became, because what sound is to music, light is to dance. Without light, you can't see the dance. And so we all worked out, what if the dancers were lit within the costume, or by how do you dance in the dark? What is the minimum level of light? What if you have, you know, a lot of light? And so that was, and then we went in as choreographers into the metaphor of what light is. Literally, you know, much the same theme of, like, say, Diwali, light over darkness. Then the whole in that is a process of you becoming, you know, either your better self, or you could go the other way, becoming a darker self. So it became metaphorical and physical, and we just all ran with the theme.
Yeah. Well, Judah, as the creative director, how did you approach blending this concept of the lighting and the digital screens and all of that with dance as well?
Well, it's definitely been a very collaborative process. You know, I'm very honored to be working on this project after having been a student at the Caribbean School of Dancing when I was a teenager, and now I get to collaborate with the choreographers and even with my teachers, and so it's been a very interesting process to really workshop what is possible in the Queen's Hall space. We're really trying to figure out the logistics of where can we have dancers besides the stage. Can we have people in the aisles? Can we have people on the landings? What's possible? What isn't? And that has also been a really fun process as well, working with the choreographers and trying to figure out okay, what if we put dancers here? What if we put dancers over there? What does that look like? So it has been a really intriguing process to sort of figure out the logistics of, and of course it's going to have its bumps along the way, because this is something that we're all experiencing for the first time, but it is something that is really exciting, and I think that drive to do something different is really keeping us going and keeping us very interested in seeing where this is going to go.
Nancy, about the choreographers as well, I understand that you have a young Trinidadian choreographer working internationally in China with this, am I right?
We actually have 2 choreographers working away.
Wow.
Zidane Ruknarine won the scholarship to go to the Beijing Academy from the Dai Eileen Foundation, and he works in China, and then there's Anna Maria de Freitas, who's working on the Sir Matthew Bowen project in England, and both of them have been made artistic associates.
Yeah, and what about the designers in this? I know you're using costumes from earlier productions.
Well, it was Anna Maria who said, she came back, and so Anna Maria came back to Trinidad and said, in England they upcycle the costumes. So there are ways of reusing a costume, but it could be reverted back to its original form. So you're using the costume in a different way that the audience doesn't recognize its original version of itself. And to be honest, that was music to my ears, because over the years we have amassed a lot of very valuable costumes that we don't want to, we can't throw them away. We may not be able to use them again in the traditional sense. And then along comes Anna Maria with this idea, because storage is expensive and we have to pay for it.
And that's really really important to keep the legacy alive as well, and to carry it forward. So before we go, just tell us about the event this weekend and how can we be a part of this? No, it's not this weekend. It's next weekend. The 18th How can we be a part
19th.
of this?
Well, you have to buy a ticket.
Yeah, where can we get more information? Where can we get tickets?
Well, you can go to Queen's Hall box office and you can buy your tickets there. They're only $250. The show on Saturday is at 7 o'clock, and the show on Sunday is at 6 o'clock. And I really want people to be on time. I mean, I know Trinis, we like to rock up whenever, but it's really important, given the nature of this show, that the experience starts. No, again, no spoilers. The experience starts as you arrive towards the time when the doors are being opened. So obviously, if you arrive late, you will have missed part of the show.
Yeah, so you want to be there for the entire
thing. You want to be there for the entire.
Yeah, I mean, we are creating a world with this show, and we really want you to feel that world as soon as you step into the doors.
Yeah. It sounds like it'll be a really beautiful and immersive experience. Well, good luck to you both, ladies, and to the entire team.
See everybody there.
See you on the 18th and 19th. Well, when we come back, we continue talking all about the creative arts. More drama is in store for you on Trinidad and Tobago today.
Coming soon. A new sound. A new class. A new class. Next 99.1 FM. The next level of radio.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Fernando, get ready for laughter, drama, and plenty bacchanal. A Scandal in Citrus returns for 2 nights only at Sapa on April 11th and the 12th. Written by Ricardo Samuel and already a massive hit with sold-out shows across the country. This comedy has audiences talking and coming back for more. Well, joining us this morning are 2 of the talented actresses bringing the story to life. Deborah Buku Mason, the great, and Zoe-Marie Tanka, another great. Good morning, ladies. And welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
So why is there scandal in Citrus?
Why is there scandal in Citrus? Well, let me just say that there's scandal all over the country. But Citrus' scandal
Citrus will never be the same
is
again.
the best scandal. So there's scandal in Citrus because Citrus has something special that makes that scandal even more hilariously special.
Interesting. Well, without giving too much away, what is this about? What is Scandal in Citrus about?
I think it's you know, the play grips you. This is an original play by Ricardo Samuel that really grips you from the first second. It is entertaining. Every character that comes into the space. This is a beach house that is a beautiful beach house that's owned by my character and my husband, played by Richard Raghubar Singh. And every character that enters the space has his and her own very intriguing storyline.
And it's that we can mention that they all come to your beach house to get away for the carnival week.
They're coming to get away for the carnival week. And then all of a sudden there's secrets and intrigue and
Bacchanal and scandal.
Bacchanal and scandal in Citrus. But absolutely hilarious from the beginning to the end, and the way everything is staged is so entertaining.
Well, Deborah,
and I just wanted to mention, as Zoe-Marie says, it's entertaining, but I know that a lot of our Trinidadians, a lot of the audience will see themselves in the stories
in the characters.
Very relatable.
So it's very,
so
very,
you're
very
also
relatable.
co-directing, am I right?
Yes, along with Richard Raghubar.
What's that process been like?
That process, the co-directing and acting, for me, it's quite engaging and very much consumes me, because as a director, you're out of it, you're in it, as the actor, you're out of it, you're in it. So I always have to be shifting from one to the next. But the thing about it is, I think the director in me always takes over, as Zumari will see. So even if I am on stage as the actor, I am still looking at the other actors from the director's point of view. And I'm co-directing with Richard. So when he is off, he is looking at me and looking at us and giving the feedback.
Two hats of the
So
same
well-oiled machine. And it helps that Richard is the co-director because of his experience, because we have worked 4 years together, so we understand our rhythms and what we bring to it. So that helps me to co-direct and act at the same time. But it means that I have to spend a lot more time as the actor now because I have to deliver. I have to deliver.
And deliver she does. She's having a great time as well.
So what drew you into your character in this production?
I like the depth of what my character is going through. So there's so many different moments. You know, she's very sophisticated, very successful, but she's going through her own little turmoil. And she's, you know, very suspicious of something. You know, she's not particularly happy with her husband at the moment, you know, without giving away too much. But she is, I love the layers of Vanessa. I love the layers, and I love being challenged by that, of being able to now present a female character that has this depth, that has her own nuance, and has her own language, and you know, and despite the fact that, well, some people may say she's mean. I don't know, I'm not calling names. But, you know, it's also the way that she goes about certain things is also funny because, of course, it's a comedy. So there's that dramatic effect. And there's also, of course, you're playing to the comedy of that.
What I want to mention, though, as we just mentioned, my co-directing and acting. And when I'm on stage as the actor, I look and see what... And I am looking at Zumari on stage and I'm saying, oh, my God, she's amazing in this role. Oh my God, she has captured this role so well. Oh my God, look at Zumari. And I am, as the actor, I am blown away on stage looking at her and how she deals with her character and how she moves. And I just want to say, oh my God, amazing, amazing,
So
amazing.
we get to see Zumari this weekend in action. Give us some details about the show. How can we get tickets?
Yes, so, well, we, as you know, we are at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts this Saturday, the 11th, and Sunday 12th. Saturday is 8:30 p.m., Sunday is 6:30 p.m.
We have that information on the screen as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Telephone numbers for you to call.
Box office.
Scandal in Cedros. Now, Deborah, the show has been selling out everywhere. Why do you think the audiences are loving it this much? You said we connect with the characters.
Yes, the audiences, for one, will connect with the characters. But let me just say, one of the reasons the audiences love it so much, let us start with the cast. The amazing cast that we have. Oh my God. So they come in because they know the cast members can deliver. They are coming because they know RRRS production, the quality shows. So they know they are coming for production values that are very high and a quality show. They know we understand comedy. They know we know how to do comedy.
One thing, this group definitely understands.
We do,
comedy.
and I mean, we just want to shout out the cast as well. Of course, you know, Richard Raghubar Singh, Nicholas Suberu, Arnold Penny-Goynham, Kern Samuel, Benita Wilson. I mean, we are having a fantastic time, and we don't. Every time we do a show, we have to take it up a notch. We do the work. And we continue to perfect our craft. And South, we're excited to be back. I just want to mention as well that
we are out
ticket
of
out.
time.
Oh, we are.
But quickly tell us about the ticket hours.
RSRR Productions Theatre's social media pages will have all the information. But K Squared, C3, and Brentwood Mall have tickets, and also Fans of Marabella. Okay, guys, don't stick, okay?
This weekend, 11 and 12 Scandal in Cedros. That's where we say goodbye. Carrie's up next with the news at the top of the hour. We come back tomorrow. We do this all over again, 6 to 8 on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Bye.
Since 1962, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house limes. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Every morning begins with a story. The headlines you need. The voices you trust. The conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you. Conversations that spark new ideas. Stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. Local manufacturers are maintaining the warning that Trinidad and Tobago's ongoing foreign exchange shortage is placing serious pressure on businesses, affecting their ability to import raw materials and maintain production. The Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association says the issue remains one of the sector's biggest challenges. Newly appointed TTMA President Emil Ramkisoon says many manufacturers are now forced to carefully balance limited foreign exchange allocations while still trying to keep operations running. He explains that accessing U.S. currency through the banking system remains difficult, leaving companies heavily dependent on the Exim Bank for support.
Running a company back in the days was easier because we didn't have a foreign exchange crisis. Now we're in a foreign exchange crisis. You know, we have to pivot forward and retool. And as second and third generation, you know, you have to learn how to balance cash flow, balance paying suppliers, how to use your money to pay raw materials, how to use the foreign exchange that you get from the Exim Bank.
Mr. Ramkisoon says while the Exim Bank provides some relief, the system still creates uncertainty for businesses when allocations are delayed or inconsistent.
The function and the policy of Exim Bank really and truly is to help companies get to that manufacturing stage and get back foreign exchange back into the country. And that is what the Ministry of Finance is really looking at, to restructuring Exim Bank. And I will agree on that. You know, get it back to that system. But currently the gaps in Exim Bank, because sometimes you get an allocation this month and then you have a 2-month gap. And, you know, it really puts a strain on our members.
TTMA says improving access to foreign exchange and expanding export markets will be critical to strengthening the manufacturing sector and helping businesses generate more foreign currency for the economy. In other news, students with disabilities at KidSpace Education Limited are learning valuable life and employment skills by producing and selling their own line of herbal teas. The program, called Rooted From Garden to Cup, is supported by the Judicial Foundation and the Global Environment Facility's Small Grants Program through the Innovation Challenge for Persons with Disabilities. Based in Woodbrook, KidSpace has installed hydroponic growing towers and a commercial-grade processing space, allowing students to manage every step, from planting and harvesting to packaging and quality control. Production tasks are carefully broken into structured steps, with some students actively harvesting and sorting. Others prepare dehydration, packaging, and quality checking, building real skills through real work. The hands-on initiative promotes independence, entrepreneurship, and inclusion, with discussions already underway to place the student-made teas in local businesses. One of the standout stories of the 2026 Carifta Games in Grenada was 15-year-old Nyla Kerr, who, despite making the Carifta team last year, was unable to compete due to injury. This past weekend, Kerr finally made her debut and went on to win gold in 1500-meter final and bronze in the 4x400-meter relay. The San Juan native spoke on her success following the team's return on Tuesday at the TUCO International Airport.
It feels really good to me, honestly. I put in the work and I was determined to at least make at least one medal on the podium, and I am very grateful to the grace of God that I am able to leave with 2.
And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. From the entire team here, have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
Welcome to Caribbean Dream. I'm your host, Tiana Colbert, and today I have the privilege of speaking to